My name is Jaleel Muhammad, and I'm a junior on the Boswell varsity team.
Okay.
I'm Ethan Cook, and I'm a senior.
Okay.
I'm John Cruz, and I'm a senior.
Okay, thank you. And how long have you been participating in gymnastics?
Last year I was in beginner gymnastics, and this is my first year on the varsity team.
Nice, in your first year, and you made it to state. That's quite an accomplishment. Okay, what about you, Ethan?
I started in the beginners class my freshman year, and then my sophomore year I made the varsity team. So I've been on the varsity team for 3 years.
Okay.
I started gymnastics in the 8th grade beginner class, and I've been on team for 4 years.
Okay, very good. Looks like you got some experienced gymnasts here. Okay, so let's start with you, and just tell us a little bit about your season.
The season started off kind of low, but we worked our way up as we went along. I do rings, pommel horse, P-bars, and high bar. And I would say my best meet was regionals, and I placed 7th in the region.
Okay, what's your favorite event out of all of those?
Rings.
Why?
I'm just really good at it.
Oh, well, that's a reason. That's a reason. Now you, Ethan, let's just talk a little bit about your season.
Okay, so since I'm a senior, this was my last year, and so I wanted to do my best, give it like my all this year, and it paid off. My goal was to get a 10 this year, but I didn't. But I got several 9.9s.
Nice.
I think my best meet would have been, I want to say regionals or state. Like I said, I did place at state. I got 7th on vault. But I'd say it was a pretty good year.
And what's your favorite event?
My favorite event would probably be floor.
Why?
So starting, I didn't have any like previous experience with gymnastics, but I always like jumping on trampoline, and so floor was like the closest thing
With
to
the springboard?
that.
Yeah.
And so it was like an easy transition. It was an event that I picked up really easily.
Okay, I can see that. And what about you? Talk a little bit about your season.
My season didn't begin until the 2nd semester because there was some break in between. But it started off really well. I basically picked up where I left off of my last competition. I was doing really well throughout the season, mainly consistent with slight improvements here and there.
Okay. And what is your favorite event?
My favorite event is floor.
And why?
Just, that's what I'm best at.
There you go, there you go. Now, what would you guys say was your best team meet?
I mean, state.
Yeah.
Really?
I want to say state. We did really well this year. In the past, Boswell has, we've normally crashed at state. We do really good at regionals and districts, but then once we hit state, our team score goes down. But this year, we just did really well. We hit it this year. I don't think we counted any major mistakes.
I don't think we did.
No.
And you guys even improved because you guys placed 8th this year and 9th last year, so you even stepped it up a notch.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Nice, nice. What does that mean to you guys as seniors, kind of going out with that improvement?
I think it kind of shows that we left the team with something that wasn't there before. I guess we showed them that even if people didn't think we could make 8th, we definitely did, and that if you work hard enough, anything's possible.
Great answer.
Same as him, just giving the team what they need to grow, almost like planting the tree you won't be able to see. But.
Oh, nice. Okay. Now, you're a junior, so what would you take from these seniors next year, going into your senior year, to continue the success here at Boswell?
Well, he's my captain, and he's a senior, and they showed a lot of leadership roles in the gym. And next year I'll be a senior, so I would like to carry that on and show a lot of leadership in the gym, help out whoever I can, the new freshmen that are coming in.
Okay. Great answer. You guys, do you have any plans for after graduation?
So straight after graduation, I'm actually going to serve a 2-year mission for my church.
Oh, fun.
And because of that break, I won't be continuing gymnastics after high school. But I think it would still be fun to go to a club gym and continue it because I still have the love for the sport.
How do you feel that gymnastics has helped prepare you for the next phase in your life?
It's an extremely team-oriented sport. Everyone encourages everyone else. You always want your teammate to succeed because they add to your total team score. So because of that, I think you learn to deal with people, even if you have differences. You always want someone to do good. So I think with that, especially since we're going into dentistry, where I'll be working with the team, it'll help me be better with people.
And that's very true. It's a very great life lesson. What about you? What are your plans after graduation?
After graduation, I plan on enlisting in the Navy and going to Bud School to become a Navy SEAL.
Nice. How do you feel that gymnastics or athletics in general has helped prepare you for that?
It's definitely helped me build a great physical foundation, because when I was little I used to be kind of a chubby kid, but gymnastics helped me develop a lot of strength and endurance, and so I feel that'll at least give me a baseline, where to start in terms of preparing. And it's also helped me develop teamwork ideals and how to help other people and talk effectively, and also gymnastics is filled with a lot of obstacles you have to get over mentally and physically, and it's definitely helped me how to deal with those and work through them.
I'm Coach Jimmy Averett. I've been coaching at Boswell for 17 years.
How many years have you been coaching altogether?
I think it's 27. I started right out of high school in private clubs and worked my way through college, paying for college and fun stuff like that.
Always
and
gymnastics?
Just kept with it. Yeah, I started with gymnastics, and when I went to school I was going for education and law enforcement, and I decided to drop the law enforcement and stick with education because I thought it might be safer and better for a family.
Yes, absolutely. Well, let's just talk a little bit about your season. You guys had a pretty good season. You want to go ahead and...
Yeah, it was a good season. It ended really well. We had a little bit of rough patch in the middle with some of our students, and made it very difficult for us. But the core that stayed here continued to believe in themselves and the system and what we were trying to accomplish, and kept working really hard, and it seemed to work out in the end. We finished 8th in the state, which anybody that wasn't inside the four walls of that gym, I don't really think would have given us much of a shot, and I have to admit, even myself sometimes questioned it. Even now, if you check the state rankings, we're still ranked 13th. I think that's the highest we've had all year.
Oh, wow.
We fell to 15th to 18th, which is one of the worst rankings we've had since we started doing the ranking system. But guys put it together really good at districts, regionals, and state. Like I said, we finished 8th in the state, which, like I said, when you look at it and go, how'd they finish 8th when they ranked 13th? I think that was pretty amazing job for them to do that.
Right, and that's even an improvement from last year. You guys placed 9th,
Yes,
correct?
ma'am. Yes, ma'am. We were 9th last year, and I think the year before, and that was one of the things when we really, probably about districts bought in. I think maybe that was just when I really bought in that these guys really can do it. I think they can make it. It was one of the things I said to them. I said, we've had a run of down at the very bottom, and I'm tired of it. We need to do something better. And after day one at state meet, we were actually sitting in the top 6, but it's a very competitive sport with some very good guys. Many of them out of our own district, as you know. We had all 3 of the men's teams qualified to state meet, and so it was tough to stay there, and we did our best, and we weren't far from the top 6. When you look at the points total, it just it was very condensed and competitive.
Talk a little bit about the 3 gentlemen that you brought with you today.
Okay, first I had Jaleel Muhammad. He is a junior. This is his first year on varsity. Really good kid. He's I like to kind of say, I can't believe how strong he is with how skinny he is. He looks like a little toothpick some days up there on rings doing things, but an amazing worker. He just came in, picked up events, and was working very diligently, and was one of my top scorers on rings. Even in regionals, if we had not qualified as a team, he would have qualified to the state meet, being with his scores from regionals.
And goodness, he'll be back next year, right?
Yes. I think he'll be a good leader in the gym. He's not real super vocal, but he has a leadership quality about him, in that he just works hard and gets others to follow him well in that.
Good. And then just mention a little bit about your seniors. Ethan.
Okay. I'm going to start with John. John Cruz, senior floor vault specialist for me. I had him from 8th grade and on, and I know he's going into the military, and he talked a little bit about the mental toughness and things there. I'm really proud of John. He had some issues that he had to learn to deal with confidence in the gym. In fact, at one point last year, he decided that he just couldn't continue with gymnastics. He kind of, hope don't embarrass him or anything, but he kind of got, I guess, nervous or scared and was having mental blocks where he couldn't do skills that he'd been doing for 2 or 3 years, and it just frustrated him so much he decided he was going to go into boxing. And then about December time, John came back and said, "Hey, I really miss this. I want to give it another go." And I said, "If you're up for it, if you think you can do it, you know what's required, let's get it and go." And his first meet back, he was a counting score on floor, which means he was one of the top 3 guys on floor.
Wow.
When he came back. And you wouldn't really know that he had the mental issues, and it never stopped him this year. He continued to, if he had any hiccup, he had learned how to work through it, and because he had a goal. And I think
Working through that mental toughness.
yes,
It's definitely
yes. And
testing the mental
I think when he goes in and tries out for Bud School and the SEALs, I think he will definitely carry that mental toughness and look back at what he had to struggle with. And I'm not saying gymnastics is quite as hard as Navy SEAls.
Definitely a stepping stone.
Yes, but I think he'll know how to look back and go, look, this is what I want. I know how to do it, and I'm going to get it done.
Awesome.
And not tap out.
Awesome. And then your other one?
Ethan, some people like to tease me and say he's like my second son. Just a great kid, great quiet leader. Some leaders will yell and holler. That's kind of my style sometimes, to get people to motivate and to do things. Ethan just kind of pulls you aside, talks to you, and expects you to get it done. And not just expect it, but he'll show you and he'll help you get through it. I've seen him this year coach many of our sophomores. Our team is primarily sophomores and seniors. And so a lot of those sophomores had to be counting scores, needed to be in the top 3, and they were, and he was part of that, given his leadership style and pulling them along and encouraging them, and they really developed throughout the entire year, and he's going to be greatly missed on our team.
Well, let's just talk about the future of Boswell Boys Gymnastics.
Future's looking pretty good. I got a good group of sophomores that are going to be juniors.
Right.
Have a handful of seniors that are kind of event specialists, but I'm probably most excited about those sophomores because I'll have a couple more years with them, and I got some 8th graders that are going to be coming in that I think will do pretty good. They'll get a little bit of time, about a year, that they'll get to kind of work and see how it's done before I have to actually hopefully count on them to count their scores. But I'm very optimistic about the future. I think they've got some good things. Like I said, we've had a little bit of a dry spell. We've been competitive, but it just seems like I can't quite get over that hump, and I'm hoping this next crop of freshmen coming in, combined with those guys that are going to be juniors, and will really give us a good push and keep the winning tradition here at Boswell going.